Hi, folks. Welcome to the Prepared Homestead. This is Travis. Thank you all for stopping by to watch. Yeah, we're doing a live stream. If you can see us and hear us and everything is okay, give us a 5x5 in the comments section. And if not, then I guess I'll have to fix something and see why we're not running on live. In case you are new, my name is Travis. This is my wife, Rivkah. And love to have you guys and gals on here tonight. We don't really have an agenda tonight. Yay, there are some people piping in. The chat on our end's a little slower, so forgive us for that. It's like a little delay. But we don't really have an agenda tonight or a topic. We just decided to get on and say hello, and I don't know, just kind of let it go and see what happens tonight. So we will be taking some comments. Please put them in like bold or all cap or whatever, because sometimes the comments start going so fast and we can't keep up. Hello from North Idaho, JB Preps. Let's see, Stirs Perry from North Carolina. How are you? Maine, Be Obnoxious for Nothing. Welcome to the show. So if you have a question, Washington State there, Kathy Shaw. Texas Hill Country, JRC Homestead. My wife is a Texican.
Yeah,
and she's
a Texican.
Yeah, something like that. It was in a John Wayne movie, it's what he said.
But the Hill Country.
Yeah.
I was born there.
Yeah. And if you have questions, we'll try to get to them, as many as we can. Please keep it civil in here. It's been here lately when we do these. People like to start getting a little out of hand in the comment section. And I do have a couple, at least one, maybe two moderators that'll be popping in tonight. And I hate to bring down the ban stick on people, or at least, remove them from the chat. But we got to keep it civil, folks. Someone says they appreciate my last video on the polar shifts and solar issues and all that kind of stuff. That may be a topic. That's something that I enjoy researching.
Oh,
I don't claim to know a whole lot about it, but I have researched it for years. Both of us have. It's kind of a little hobby of ours. So that may be something that we may be going into a little bit more. Yeah, the sun is now white, not yellow. I don't know if anyone's noticed that. I mentioned that today. I'll just bring that up and then we can move on, because I don't want to belabor the point. But have you noticed, and if you have, say something in the chat, because I don't want to feel like I'm the only one, even though I've talked to other people that says, yes, it's happened to them. When you go outside when it's full sun, clear, sunny day, even if it's not hot, it could be cool out, almost immediately or very shortly after being exposed to the sun, your skin feels tingly, like you're getting a sunburn, even though it's cool and you've only been out for maybe seconds or a couple of minutes. Very interesting. The sun doesn't look the same way it did when I was a kid, the best that I can remember. Yes, we have a meeting. Our local meeting this month is the 29th. So for those of you that are local folks and you come to the meeting, it's the same time and same place as always, the 29th of January. And we've got a lot of things going on this year. With our local group. We are busy. Stay alert, watch your perimeter. Absolutely, brother. We're doing homeschool group. We've got like men's groups that are meeting. We have work days. We're doing training events within our local group at least twice a month. It's busy. Like,
take a breath.
Like we are, my wife and I, there's not a day that goes by that we're not talking with someone, texting with someone, answering questions.
It stays so busy, it does.
Yeah, it does. All because of the, those stuff we're doing here locally. People, questions, needing help, whatever it is. So it's a good thing. It's a lot of work, but it's good work.
That's
Oh, yeah, show your her shirt.
It's called Dirt and Devotion.
Dirt and Devotion, yeah. We met these folks at a homestead event. It says homegrown, homeschooled, homemade, and homestead. They have some pretty cool T-shirts. If you've seen that T-shirt that I wear sometimes that have the mushrooms on it, that's the place that made it.
Yeah, it says, I'm a fun guy.
Fun guy, yeah. She bought that for me because I love mushrooms. Hey, Bob R. Thank you very much for that. Thank you very, very much.
I loved Ice Age Farmer too. Somebody said that.
Oh yeah, I don't know I've reached out to him and got nothing. And I saw the other day I was watching Bear Independent, and he said the same thing. He said that he reached out to him and got no
But
response.
I've seen him on Telegram.
Yes, but I haven't been on
Sporadic.
Telegram, so I don't know if that's still actually him or someone else post. I don't know. I don't know what's happened to Ice Age Farmer. I hope nothing bad. I do know that even not getting into conspiracy theory stuff, doing this it's an emotional toll. It's a lot of work, and the stuff that he was getting into, he was exposing a lot of truth. So who knows? Thank you. Tim says we both look great tonight.
Tim the Beard?
No, Tim
Tim.
Rogers. Oh no, it's Tina.
Tina.
Sorry, I can't see that good that far.
I need glasses
It's Tina
too. We're
Rogers,
getting
not
old.
Tim.
Sorry, Miss Tina. Thank you.
Oh. Ozone breaking down from proton radiation to singlet oxygen and forming yeah, I think I understand what you're talking about. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff, getting into the pole shifting and the micronova stuff and the radiation and the sun. That's probably what I'm thinking I'll do for those of you that are very interested in that. Probably my Rumble channel will be the place to do that because it's much more of a free speech platform. And it seems that people are more okay with longer format because those kind of videos, I'm not going to be able to sit here for 10 minutes and talk about that and get across too much. So we'll probably start planning some longer format videos getting into that kind of stuff over on Rumble. Let's see. Is confiscation expected of gold or food or homes or vehicles? Do you think they will be thrown to FEMA camps? How do you picture civic unrest once the digital dollar is rolled out? Wow, that's a lot of question there, Rob. Well, let's see. Where do I start? I'm not sure that I expect it, but I think it's very possible. The confiscation stuff, FEMA camp stuff, I'm not going to go into detail here right now. I've done it in a few other times in the past on this channel. I never worked for FEMA, but I did work for the government in a law enforcement capacity and was trained doing some FEMA training. And they absolutely do train to round people up and put them into
Somebody says
camps.
raise your hand if you're a Fed. Why don't you tell people why you're not doing that anymore?
Well, that's one of the reasons why. Yeah, I quickly got in and quickly got out of that. I was in law enforcement and got into that and then got out. It was just, it blew me away. Civil unrest, I think the best way to look at it is look at what's happened in recent years across the planet, whether it's Venezuela, Iraq, Afghanistan because of wars there, Eastern Europe because of the collapse of the Soviet Union. The things recently, it was Sri Lanka, where we saw things fall apart quickly. That kind of stuff could happen. I mean, just look back at the BLM Antifa stuff, the Summer of Love. I mean, that was a mini collapse in certain areas. And then considering that Americans are very, shall we say, weak. They don't know how to survive, okay? Americans don't. Whenever I say that Americans are weak, I get people that are like, oh, that's so mean for you to say. Well, I'm sorry. The truth hurts sometimes. But I think a collapse could be even more severe here in America because, at least in most of these other countries, people are slightly more self-sufficient. They're not so connected to their Starbucks and their, Twitter that if it went away, they would just die. So, yeah, I think that a collapse, at least, in the very least, a very quick. I think there could be a very quick, and when I say short-lived, I don't mean like hours or days. I mean like weeks or months. I'm not talking like eons and years. I don't think that we're ever going to see the government or a system completely go away. Restructure, very different, yes. But biblically speaking, there's nothing in the Bible that talks about, governmentless anarchy. In fact, it's the opposite. It talks about basically Big Brother watching you.
Someone said that my shirt should say homely. He thinks I'm homely, babe.
Oh, that wasn't very nice.
These people. Okay, so there's been a couple people ask about the young lady that we're helping.
Oh.
Have you talked about that here?
No, I've never
Okay.
talked about it. That's not a youth. It's more of a private thing. No offense to all of you that have no clue what we're talking about. It's just some personal things that we're helping with another family that we're not broadcasting on YouTube.
And then somebody asked where you get your seeds. Where did you say you get your seeds again?
Predominantly, I've been getting them from True Leaf Seed Company. And I think there's probably a description down, a link down the description below. I have in the past bought them a lot from Baker Creek, but I worked part-time for a while at Baker Creek on the side, but I was a little discouraged about some of the news coming out over the pandemic stuff and the thing in the arm. So I've been using True Leaf Market, and I absolutely love them. We love them. The packaging is great. The quality is great. So
somebody asked, do you guys make your own hygiene products like deodorant and toothpaste? And I absolutely have, but
we do.
We also support friends, the small businesses that do it. So like we have tooth powder that we purchased from the same lady that I usually get my earrings from. Her daughter does that. And then I've made deodorant just out of coconut oil and baking soda, or sometimes for people who are sensitive, we've used charcoal. I don't know. There's all kinds of other things you can do. But yeah, we definitely dabble.
Yeah, we make it sometimes. Like she said, we don't use any store-bought chemical type stuff like that on anything. But yeah, most of the here lately we've been buying from others because as our community grows, there's like people like there was a family within our local community that is making soap to sell, and my wife worked out a trade agreement with them and helped them out with something, and then they gave us probably a year's supply of soap in exchange for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She messaged me just now.
Yeah, probably about a year's for the whole family.
Say hi.
Oh,
hi, friend.
Hello, friend. And then, there are other people in our local community that make things, and so
She makes my Thieves Blend soap. That's my favorite.
Yes, she also makes some beard oil for me. I should have put it on because it's starting to get to that need it. But anyways.
And she makes.
Someone asked if they have a website. I don't know. I'll have to look and see if they have a website. Two Doctors.
Yeah, she does.
Okay, my wife will look it up.
Are you talking about the soap place?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Two Doctors Homestead. Thank you very, very much. Blessings to you. Someone says their soap is amazing. I don't know if they're talking about the same people we are, but the people.
Where does it
say? Right here. Their soap
Titanium legs.
I don't know who that is.
Is that one of them?
Maybe.
Our friends?
Hey, Patrick from Missouri Freedom Initiative is in here. Says Missouri Bill SB 100. If you guys watched the other night, I did the interview with the state senator. Currently filed in the Missouri legislature and as our gold and silver solution to the Federal Reserve. I encourage everyone to look it up and support it. Absolutely. If you are in Missouri or you have friends or family in Missouri, contact them and tell them to contact their rep to support Senate Bill 100. That is probably one of the biggest most important pieces of legislation I feel in Missouri in a long time. Maybe at least since the SAPA, the Second Amendment Preservation Act. It's a big deal. And then also, all of you are, I'm sure, familiar with this new ATF Justice Department ruling saying that all of you people that own pistol braces on your rifles are now felons. You need to be calling your local state representative, your federal state representatives, and then also your sheriff's department. Contact your sheriff's department and try to get them to say, hey, no, we're not going to support that in this county. We're not helping the ATF or anything because this kind of insanity's got to stop. Like I said in my video, I guess this morning, I understand it's only one component of a firearm that not even everybody owns. But this, I believe, is the beginning. Biden himself has pretty much said that it's going to continue. So we need to stop this pistol brace ban and overnight making 20 to 40 million Americans felons is basically what it's done. Yeah, Moulin Labe, exactly. That's what this here is. I'm going to say something. See this flag back here? I get it beat up a lot. I think you guys can see. A lot of people make comments saying that this is a pagan flag. I guess because from your perspective, this looks like an upside down star. I don't know if you can see it. This is called the Gonzales flag, and it was basically an Americanized version of the Greek Moulin Labe, which means come and take it. Some of you know what I'm talking about. And this was used in Texas's independence, fight for independence. It's got a cannon on it, and it says come and take it. So no, it's not pagan. Not everything that's pagan is, everything that was not everything that was used by pagans means that it's pagan.
Okay, so my friend wrote me back and she reminded me she does not have a website, but she has an email. And so write me, friend, and tell me, can we include your email down below if somebody wants to order some soap?
Yeah.
And then somebody else mentioned that thieves is Young Living Oil. And I know that, and I think that it's really just a term that most people have come to accept and
yeah, she's not talking about the brand.
I'm definitely not talking about any brand.
No, she's just talking about a mixture of oils and
it's
soap.
A thieves blend.
Yeah.
It's also called On Guard for a different company and Warrior, I think, for another company. Just wanted to be clear.
All right, Texas Strong Independence flag from JRC Homestead. Let's see. I'm trying to go back. Someone says that has something to do. Plate carrier with side plate. I'm not wearing my plate carrier for this, folks. Sorry. We are prepared just in case, though.
Oh goodness.
If someone decides to run in and raid our live stream.
You're worried about the Bigfoot, aren't you?
The Bigfoot, yeah. I'm not going to say I believe in Bigfoot, but I have spent a lot of my life. I'm a very outdoorsy kind of guy, woodsy, survival kind of guy. You can type it in here. And I have seen and heard things out in the woods that I cannot explain. And so maybe, whoops, sorry, that was probably pretty loud for you folks. I smacked the mic. My wife is putting an email address to the folks that make the soap that we use.
And you'll put it in the comments, right?
Yeah, so she's getting ready to type that into the chat here. So if you want to email this lady, please don't spam her with junk and everything.
Please.
She's a really sweet person.
She's a very nice person.
But if you're interested in some soap from her, my wife is getting ready to
or
put
beard oil.
Yeah, beard oil. They make other stuff.
And she has this really amazing one called Lychee, and it has these scrubby things in it, and it's super exfoliating, and it smells really wonderful. Anyway, that's my...
Do I really think that they will ban gas stoves? I think that they're going to try to make it difficult. It's like with all this other stuff. Look at the gas tanks, the little 5-gallon gas tanks with the stupid, annoying little nozzle on it. Look at what they're trying to do, make it very difficult for people to purchase and use wood stoves. Some places they have already banned them. But a lot of places, insurance won't cover your home if you have a wood stove, or it has to meet some ridiculous standard for the wood stove to work. I think it will probably see the same thing with gas stoves. Will we see an all-out ban? I doubt it. I mean, I could be wrong. I doubt it. But I think that would upset a lot. I mean, that would be probably more unenforceable than this pistol brace ban. But could we see the prices of gas stoves go up because of hyper regulation over them?
I can see them penalizing people for
penalizing,
using that because it's more difficult to control.
Would insurance company, homeowners insurance be harder or more expensive because you have a gas stove instead of electric? Yeah, I could see all those things very, very likely.
Somebody asked, when is the next newsletter? And I thought, this is a perfect
time. I am
a
few days behind on the newsletter. I am working on it.
Just explain, we've been very busy. And
the last 2 weeks, I've been gone almost every day. like 5 days a week from the house, going and helping other people within our community. So I am working on the newsletter, but I am a few days behind. I'm hoping in the next day or two to get it finalized and wrapped up. I have most everything done. It's just putting it all together and making it look pretty. So that's going on with the newsletter. Black market wood and gas stoves for the win. Absolutely. The wood stove that we have in our home is older than me, and it works really good. And I absolutely know that it's not, because of its age, it does not meet any kind of federal standards for wood stoves. And I installed it myself, and it was never inspected because it's not required out where we live. And it's fine. It heats the house really well, and it's totally safe. It's as safe as any other wood stove, and I think
safer,
it's
actually,
probably
because
safer,
there's
yeah.
a little bit of a cage.
Yeah, ours is like like a heatilator or whatever, where it's has a stove and then the outside metal shell kind of thing, so it's safe to touch. But someone saw it.
Are you a Viking lifestyle? But we have Viking sheep.
We have Viking sheep, yeah. Okay. Man, no, not really. In fact, I was just thinking the other day that while there's definitely a cool thing with the Viking lifestyle, I think some of these people, you see these videos now that people are, probably shouldn't say these things, but whatever. I have a tendency to put my foot in my mouth. These guys making these videos that are trying to really look the part of a Viking, and you got to think, but are they like mentally in the Viking? Are they
But you're not talking about our friend, the Viking.
No,
Be
Pastor
clear.
Joe Fox?
Yeah,
No,
you're not talking
no,
about
he's
that
my
at all.
buddy. I love that guy. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about, these guys online that,
Be clear.
because they, get a Viking tattoo or have some kind of Viking hairstyle or whatever, they're drinking out of a horn mug or whatever, they think that they're tough like Vikings. I do have Viking lineage in me, very strongly, but
More strongly than me, do you think?
I don't know, maybe. She has
We'll have to
some
compare.
Viking bloodlines too.
We should.
Yeah. Someone says they love your shirt. I'm assuming that's hers because I'm just wearing a flannel.
Your Fidel Castro get
No, I
here?
took the jacket off. Everyone
yeah.
makes fun of this jacket. Says it's my Fidel
But
Castro.
this is
I
your
don't
favorite
care.
color. Look, it's green.
It is. I
and
know.
green and
I can't
green
help
and
it.
Green. He
I
likes
can't help
green,
it.
y'all.
I like earth tones.
He's a woodsy man.
Yeah, I like earth tones.
What they used to call you?
Someone's. That's cute. Thank you, JB Preps, for she thinks that's cute.
You're gonna make me blush, grandmother.
Why
Thank
no
you.
Rumble feed? Because I haven't figured out how to do a live stream on YouTube and Rumble at the same time. I got to work on that, okay? I'm not the most advanced, technologically, advanced person.
So
Travis
East
Fidel.
Texas. See? Hello, East Texas.
East Texas.
I'm
Yeah.
super familiar with that area.
Yeah, that's where I picked you up.
And then this person, this is our friend, Patrick. He says, my wife and I escaped Minnesota in 96. That's some
Boy,
strong
I bet,
escaped.
Patrick, I bet you're super happy you're not living there right now, considering how things have gone downhill in Minnesota in the last couple of years, especially that Twin City area.
This is funny. I used to act like a Viking, but now I act like a
Sniper.
I don't blame you.
Oh. Someone asked, did I ever serve? No, I never served in military. I was in law enforcement. When I was 18, I was still in high school, so I was before I turned 18, because I graduated before I turned 18. So I was a senior in high school, and I met with a recruiter, and then I met with the recruiter a couple of more times. And everything, my ASVAB scores were great, high. I could have gone into pretty much anything I wanted. But it was at that time, I knew I had it. I have a spinal cord birth defect. And because of that, I really, it was unlikely that I was ever going to have a career in the military, which I mentioned the other day later on, ended up into a spinal cord injury. And 10 years ago or so, I had some major surgeries and, had to learn to rewalk and everything. But anyways, long story short, I wanted desperately to be in the military, but couldn't because of that problem, but was able to get into law enforcement because typically their, standards for your physical standards are a little bit less. So I did go into law enforcement. But so no, I never actually served in the military. What kind of radio do I use? I'm mostly using the Baofeng radios, B-Tech radios. I do have some higher end radios. I have a Yaesu and stuff like that, but it's really hard to beat those cheaper radios. And I for the price of one, Yaesu handheld, I can buy almost 10 Baofengs, and I do that. I have several sitting on the shelf just in case, because they're $20-$25 a piece. So I use those a lot, but I do have some higher end stuff. But I think it's good to have some of those because they do function. They're not perfect. They're not the clearest reception, but they do function. And I've got some 50 watt and a 25 watt mobile one's a TYT, one's a B-Tech, and I think another one is, I can't remember the other brand.
Are they affordable enough to have around to share with neighbors?
Yeah,
should the
absolutely.
need arise?
Absolutely. If your neighbors are within a mile to 2 miles, the handheld Baofengs, which I don't have within arm's reach, it's all over that way in this building, this room. Those would work. If you're more than a mile or two, they do make like 10 to 25 watt smaller, like base radio, something you can put in your car. We actually have one in our house, 25 watt in our house. It's actually right next to our bedroom. I should get that out here sometime and show you. But
you use it.
Yeah, we can be laying in bed and reach over and grab it. It's 25 watt antennas up on the roof.
And then also when you're out strolling around with Bigfoot.
Right. I carry a radio with me, and I can communicate with her in case it was an emergency. So that's like, mostly the radios.
Like would happen if you did encounter.
Right, and I don't have it put up yet, but I have a 50-foot tower. I just need some help. We're gonna get it put up, and probably gonna put up a GMRS repeater on that 50-foot tower.
So, will you just mention again that yes, we are still having our monthly meetings?
We have monthly meetings. Still this month it's the 29th. If you want a tentative calendar for this year, if you're here locally and you're wanting to come, or if you think you might be able to be traveling through, a lot of people, on vacations and stuff, they try to come through the area. If you're wanting to know, we have planned out the calendar for the entire year, and we're doing our very best to stick to that calendar. You're welcome to email me, and I will get you that for other dates.
So someone wants to know if you have ham or GMRS. I mean, you have.
I have both.
Yeah.
I do. I've had a ham radio license for almost 20 years now. Well, actually, right about 20 years. And then I'm also a GMRS license holder.
Right here.
So I do both.
How do you handle barking Great Pyrenees?
Well, if they're really close neighbors, like physically
That's
close barks,
one.
it can be. Thankfully, we don't have any close neighbors, so I couldn't care less about my dogs. And then a lot of it has to do with just the neighbors. Most people out in the country understand that those kind of things happen. But yeah, there are those people that live out in the country, but they expect this kind of city environment where, there's no smells, there's no noise, that, there's no interference. And if you're living out in the country, but you're fairly close to your neighbor, you're going to have to expect that you might smell their chicken coop. You're going to hear them using a chainsaw. You're going to hear their dogs barking, and you just kind of ignore it as much as possible. That's how I do. As long as what they're doing isn't really truly infringing upon me, then let them, I don't really care how their house looks as long as it's not infringing upon me. Someone says 50 watt VHF UHF with good antenna will get you about 50 miles on simplex. Yes, I have gone sometimes a little bit further, but yes, at least 50 miles you should be able to go with a good, and listen, with ham radio and GMRS radio, the antenna is really where it's at. If you want to go out and you want to buy the cheapest 50 watt mobile radio, whether it's ham or GMRS, that's honestly fine. But don't buy the cheapest antenna. Get a really good antenna. In fact, if you spend as much on your antenna as you do on your radio, then you're probably going to do pretty good, because the antenna is way more important, in my opinion, because there's a lot of these cheap antennas out there that it's about as good as using a coat hanger wire.
So somebody wants to know if we prep, and I think it's somebody that might be new to the channel. And I just
Do
thought
we prep?
it's a good idea to kind of explain.
Hey,
philosophy.
folks in the channel, do we prep? Sorry, I'm not making fun of you.
Because your approach is a little different than a lot of people's.
It is
our approach. Like I think that
someone says Shalom Viking. Yes, we prep. I do not necessarily identify as like these doomsday preppers that you've probably all seen on TV. But we do have a food storage, but it's a working pantry. We do have some things. I'm not going to let you guys see this, but
no.
The room that we're sitting in has a lot of buckets of food in it. That's mostly our long-term stuff. That's stuff that's sealed up, beans, rice, flour, oats, sugar, dry goods, sealed up in Mylar bags, put in 5-gallon buckets. And then we also have a big working pantry.
But we have sheep in the field.
And then we have sheep in the field, and we have a large, 9,000 square foot garden. We have chickens, ducks, turkeys.
So our plans include live food.
Yes,
and
our food preps are a temporary transition. That's transitory, to use a Biden team word, transitory. Our food preps, if we were cut off, and I was actually thinking of this the other day. I think I've mentioned it on this channel, but when we here on our homestead, when we're trying to figure out how to look at prepping and what we should do, what we do is we imagine our homestead and the land that we're on as being an island. Now, I know that's not reality. It's not going to work that way, but just for us, for our prepping purposes, we think of ourselves as an island. And what do we need to do, at least as much as we can, to make it survivable on this island? If this is all we had, could we survive? We have ample water, we have good soil, and so we have some things, some tools, some food preps, and then our goal is to, if need be, to live 100% off this land. That's not easy, but that is our goal. Boomer 21, the earth wobbling, as you know, is in the Bible and is all part of the pole shift coming our way via 2030. I agree with that. And
thank you.
We will like I said earlier, that's a conversation we will probably continue over on Rumble.
So also somebody said that they're going to email you about your wild lettuce tincture.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other person is asking if there are tornadoes in Missouri.
Yeah. There are. It seems, though, that a lot of the tornadic activity has moved further east. The last few times that there's been tornadoes coming out of storms, the majority of them were east, like eastern Missouri over into Tennessee, Kentucky, Illinois, that part. Where we are at, there definitely are tornadoes, but they're typically not as bad as tornadoes you would see in western Missouri, in Kansas, and Oklahoma. And the reason is we are living in the hill country, and so the hills and stuff kind of help with that. They tend to, when they hit into the hills, they'll start, go along valleys and stuff like that. They do exist, but usually they're not the big ones in this area, but it's possible. But, anywhere you go, you're going to have something, whether it's a hurricane or blizzards or, there's always something. So wildfires.
The cold, the potential cold and potential tornadoes to the hurricanes and flooding and tornadoes also, where I came from. It's just you have to pick your poison.
I've been physically inside of a tornado. They don't really scare me too much. Babylon gets destroyed at the end. That's true. Let's see. Looking through the comments, any big questions you have, put them in all caps, and I'll try to get to them, or one of us will try to get to them. I'm going to, while we're talking, okay, so you folks can leave your comments. I'm just going to switch screens over real quick and show you something really quick here. If I can make it work. There we go. Just something to be thinking about here. If you can read this, folks. Yeah, right there. This has been talked about more and more here lately. We're not going to go into great detail on that tonight. But the word on the street is, I talked about them emergency approving one for bees the other day, which is absolutely ridiculous. And now they're talking about putting it in livestock, potentially put it in livestock feed. And if they do that so that the livestock are consuming this stuff, then they can actually still be considered organic. It's just something to think about.
They want you to get a trail cam to share with them. All our live.
I keep thinking about that, yeah. Do I think CBDC rollouts this summer? I think between May and June we're going to see CBDC. I don't think it's necessarily going to be required upon us. I think they're going to roll it out first to like banks and businesses, and then it'll trickle down to us. When it will be something that's forced upon us. I think it'll be when, they're tired of the paper money and they want to collapse it. Someone asked about permaculture. Yes, we do our best. We are not like...
Are we advocates?
100%. Yes, we're advocates. We're not like 100% all... We are organic. We don't use any chemicals on any of our plants.
I didn't know how to do any of this, and I was geeking out about it, and then my husband taught me, and I love it because it attracts all these wonderful butterflies. Bees.
Our garden does not look like the magazine perfect garden.
No, it's kind of.
There's certain weeds that as they grow, if I identify them and know what they are, if they're a beneficial weed, I leave them alone. I let them grow within the plants, and then we also plant certain herbs within plants. We don't put any chemicals on any of our garden stuff. It's all organic. And so I wouldn't say we're picture perfect permaculture, but we do that. We compost everything that we can on the property. We compost food scraps, we compost animal manure, we even compost human manure. We're big at that kind of stuff. So we were given opportunity. Oops.
Somebody wants to know if it's a question. That's a personal question, and I would encourage you to email Travis, this one right here. She's asked a couple of times. It's
okay.
Like the
so the house country
or
Patriot.
Yeah. He or she.
Why don't you email me and I'll answer your question. That's a little bit longer question. Looks like. Do I know of any groups that meet in northeastern Oklahoma? I do, but I'm having a hard time off the top of my head thinking of their contact information, but I probably could find it. So you could email me also.
But put it all in caps.
Yeah, make the
Northeast Oklahoma group in all caps.
I can't think of the name right now or a contact, but I do. Someone says they own a Yaesu 450. That's a good one. I actually have a Yaesu 450 also. Those are very good. Biochar is good. Winter feed for chickens. Boy, there's all kinds of different grains that you can grow. And what was one? It just slipped my mind. Like sorghum is a good plant. Amaranth is a good plant. You want to, when you're looking, especially for chickens, what I do.
Too.
Yeah, what I do when I look for chicken plants to grow for food is what produces, the most within that area of space. So, if it's the seeds that we're harvesting or whatever.
But isn't that why we like amaranth would be a really good option?
Yes. And we do have that. We have that growing wild too. I mean, or just growing all on its own. Let's see. Locusts are loaded with protein. Yeah, see, I tell her all the time we should just eat locusts. And they're kosher, it's in the Bible. You can eat them. John the Baptist did.
So for the email address, Patriot, you're going to look in the description.
Here, I'll just post my email.
Okay.
I'm going to post my email in the chat comments, okay?
My chickens love all kinds of stuff in the summer because I give them frozen stuff.
All right, there's my email in the comments.
The chickens love kale is what I was answering.
Kale, yeah, there's a lot of leaf in purslane. Yeah, there's a lot of leafy greens that chickens like to eat also that we feed ours.
You have a nifty little long-term storage for seeds.
What is there's a video, it's probably more than a year old, but going back, I did make a video on how I store our seeds. It would take me forever at this moment to find it, but if you go back at least a year and a half, there's a video. I'm on the back of the pickup bed, and it's a big black container, almost like a Foot Locker, military style Foot Locker, and then in it I show how I store our seeds.
Can I pull on it?
Is this a real beard? Yes, go ahead. Everyone always asks.
It's real, everybody.
It's real. It's a real
beard.
It's
and
a real beard.
There's no green screen either. That's the other thing. Like today's video, you were down there in our most beautiful creeky spot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we went walking down in the creek too. How do you prevent squash bugs, vine borers? You know, a lot of the things with bugs on your plants, you just kind of have to be proactive. I send the kids out. We send
Tell
the
them
kids
what
out
worked
there.
this last year, though.
Well, I kind of have trained and allow the ducks to go into the garden. Now, chickens...
Because they don't mess everything else up.
Yeah, chickens can hurt the plants. They will peck at, like, fruit, tomatoes, that kind of stuff. But ducks, they're, number one, their beak's not the same way, and they're not really interested in that. They're just looking for bugs. So I've gotten the ducks really good at, kind of coaxing them into the garden to where now that's like every day. They're just out in the garden. And this year, we put out... Oh my goodness, I don't know how many squash plants we had. Well over 50 squash plants. I didn't count them. I kind of went crazy on the squash. We had well over 50 squash plants, maybe close to 100. And I think we lost a couple, maybe, because of squash bugs. Mm-hmm. Everything else, it was just unbelievable. It was like an Amazon jungle in our squash bed this year. It was crazy. And the ducks... We
had a hard time getting through that to get to, like, our watermelon.
Oh, it was so... The plants were so massive and thick. It was getting, difficult to get in there and harvest stuff and everything. And we let the ducks go in there every day. They just go in there and they just eat. You can also use a wood ash. If you save your wood ash, it kind of acts like diatomaceous earth. So, as you're burning wood in the wintertime, you can get diatomaceous earth, but your wood ash will work very similar. And you can get you like a 55-gallon drum, metal, not plastic. Don't get plastic because there's still hot embers in it. Make sure you get a lid for it. And then dump all your wood ash in it. And then by the summertime, you can sprinkle that on your plants. So that's something.
And that's good for your soil, too. So this is funny. 500
no,
to shave the beard.
I will not shave my beard for 500, and there is a very personal...
Or 5,000.
There's a very personal
50,
reason. I'm not going to tell you my personal reason, but let's just say it has to do with a child that isn't with us anymore, and so there's a personal reason there. So the beard just stays. But I do appreciate the offer.
He's just kidding there. Considering building an earth home...
My wife wants an earth home badly. Our best friends have an earth, contact home.
Well, I never saw that. Like where I come from.
Yeah, they don't exist really.
Somebody was talking about being in Louisiana and surviving several hurricanes. And can I say it or no? Okay, I'm from Houston. That's
Houston,
the region.
Texas,
yeah. So I survived like Alicia. I'm not old, y'all. And many others since then. And we just don't have basements or anything built in the side of anything. Everything's like, if you're the further south you go, like it's on stilts, it's on, I said stilts, but I meant like a pier foundation.
Pier foundation, yeah.
Like, I don't think I ever saw a basement in my life until I moved to Dallas, and I saw one when I was a realtor and I was showing a house and I was like, this is the coolest thing. I was geeking out. But even still, that's a very rare thing. So yes, I think I think Earth Homes.
Yes, she wants one. Susan, don't worry about you didn't offend us at all.
About what?
Well, she asked
beard.
about pigs, and then she
Oh.
said she didn't realize we kept kosher, so you haven't offended us. We have friends, several of our friends own pigs, and you didn't offend us. Boomer21 says there's another Davos conference taking place full of world leaders, CEOs, over 5,000 soldiers protecting them. Yes, so the World Economic Forum, they're meeting in Davos this week. He's correct, and they have called up 5,000 soldiers, 5,000 soldiers as guard to protect the Davos meeting. That right there has got to tell you something. Someone PT says, looking for land in Missouri, who do you contact? You can shoot me an email, and we have a very dear friend of ours that's a real estate agent, and she has helped. I've lost track. Numerous people in the area.
Put it in all caps. I really think that if you really need to contact him, we get hundreds of emails, I think, a day.
Yeah, and if you're in a situation that you're not maybe going to go through a real estate agent, maybe you're trying to find, small piece of land or owner finance or, just direct from the owner, the seller, go ahead and email me anyways, because, I have some options that I can send you. That's part of some of the things that I do on a daily basis. So certainly just email me. Let's see.
Someone said we were a lovely couple.
Aww.
Aw, you're so handsome. Davos starts tomorrow.
Yes, exactly. What county are we in? Okay, that's about as close as I'll give you information. We are in Texas County. I'm not going to give you any closer information than that here on YouTube. Someone says in Iron County. So I don't want to give out too much information. Then you'll have some crazy people showing up on my property, and then I'll have to be, calling up the neighbor with the backhoe and, all that kind of stuff. We just don't want to go there.
Or the best friend.
Yeah. I have a little saying here with our group that, we're such good friends that he could call me and to help me he could call me to help him bury the body. I probably shouldn't say that on YouTube, but it's just kind of a funny little thing.
You mean like the predator dog that got on the property, right?
Yeah. The bad dog. Hey, Arizona Prepper, thank you very much. Love you too, even though I don't know who you are. Arizona Prepper Jules is what the name is. Speaking of Pyrenees, you can probably hear a dog barking in the background, and that's one of our Pyrenees.
Can y'all hear that?
He's not going to bark now.
Do a 5x5 if you could hear it.
He has to let everybody know, all the bad guys know that it's his time and that he's on the property. They start doing that, right at sunset or just after when it starts getting dark. That's when they start
in their lives too.
Yeah, they start barking.
That's like a primal instinct. That's why I kind of laughed earlier when somebody said, "How do you control your Pyrenees barking?" I don't know that you can.
You can't control a Pyrenees from doing anything. They
so
have
funny.
their different kind of dog in that way. 5x5. Some people did hear the dog barking. Yeah, you don't really control Pyrenees. You don't really train Pyrenees.
Like we have one that howls.
Yeah. He howls you think he's a timber wolf the way he howls. And Pyrenees, you get them to be livestock guardian dogs, and you don't have to train them. They just know how to do it. It's instinctive. And it's great because you can't really train them to do much of anything else.
That's a big joke, though.
Yeah.
That's a running joke.
Yep.
And for the first 2 years of their lives, just forget about any, bit of calmness.
Yeah.
It's just...
Although, one of our Pyrenees, this is going to sound bad, but some of you at Homestead know it's not. He tried to get through a part of our field is hardwire fenced, and the other part is electric fence. And so in the electric fence part, he ran through the electric fence and got tangled up in it. It wasn't that bad, okay? It really wasn't.
I know, I still feel
But
bad
he was
for him.
all yelping and everything, and he will not cross that electric fence. He learned his lesson. He won't do it.
Well, and it's not there for them.
Yeah, it's not there for them. It's for the sheep, because we move the sheep. Like the sheep have their main
He just
field,
kind of
and then we have areas that
got
we move them around.
excited
Yeah.
and didn't. They don't run away from us.
No, they're good dogs.
He just got excited.
Crawford777 says, thank you for all you do. My wife and I listen to your videos on the way home from work every day. Looking forward to making a trip up to the area soon. Awesome. If you make it to the area, look us up. Maybe you can make it to a meeting or just meet in person. That would be awesome. Good evening from Tennessee. That's where I was born. Born in Tennessee.
My brother had a husky, and he used to tell me, don't ever let let her go. Because it's not that she doesn't like me or that she wants to run away from me, but they're bred to run.
Yeah.
And so they run and run and run, and then they run so far they don't know where they are. And this happened once to one of his, and yeah.
Someone asked about groups in New Mexico. Shoot me an email, because I had just got an email the other day from someone in New Mexico looking for people to connect with. So shoot me an email. What's my opinion on chemtrails? Well,
I think that's a broad question.
That's a broad question.
And it's something that both of us have talked about for probably like 20
Yeah. Are
years?
they spraying the atmosphere? I believe that there's tons of evidence. The reasons why are they doing it? I think a lot of us probably think that they're spraying it just because they hate us and they want to make all these things happen. But I have recently run into a lot of evidence indicating that they actually started spraying chemtrails shortly after they started realizing these solar and planetary changes that we're going through, and that some of the chemtrail spraying is kind of doing what you've heard about Bill Gates wanting to spray and to block the sun. Well, some of these chemtrails could be, and I don't know this 100%, I'm just telling you stuff that I've read and heard, that they could be spraying these chemtrails to support or bolster our electromagnetic field, because they know that we're going through this solar cycle that's going to be pretty devastating.
And without consideration to the consequences.
Yeah, because it's, Yeah, see, New Mexico. Someone else is in southern New Mexico. So yeah, if I guess tonight's New Mexico night. If you're in New Mexico, especially southern New Mexico, and you want to try to connect with other
stay
people,
on long enough for you. Like,
yeah,
if you guys
shoot me
write,
an email, and I will do my best
write.
to try to connect.
And again,
Northeastern Missouri.
Put in all caps, New Mexico.
Darren Davis. I'm not sure. You're welcome to send me an email. I save, like when someone emails me and they say, I'm a prepper or a tour observant, I'm this or that, and I'm in this area, I save every one of those emails. So, and there's thousands of them. So certainly, shoot me an email and I'll see what I can find. Yeah, they're good chemtrails saving the world. Yeah, right. No, they don't care that a bunch of us die. They're just, saving themselves is basically what they're doing. That's what is important to them. Oregon, someone's asking about Oregon. You're welcome to email me. It may take a few days or something for me to get back with it.
Snakes in Missouri.
Tell us about snakes. Oh my goodness.
Let me just say that the snakes in Missouri are not as bad as the snakes in Texas, where I'm from.
Not that bad.
I mean, yeah, we have a lot of the same.
But there are snakes. There's copperheads. There's a few different types of rattlesnakes. There's the water moccasin, the cottonmouth water moccasin. Those are all venomous snakes. And yeah, there's some that it can be very deadly. The most common, the one that you probably, if you actually run into a venomous snake, it's most likely going to be a copperhead. And while they can make you very, very ill, and there's a chance you could die, it's very unlikely that you would die from a copperhead. So don't freak out on that. As far as snakes, I would guess last year on our property, I probably saw 15 snakes, and some of those were probably the same snake. In fact, one I know, there's one that lives over in our orchard, a big old black snake, and I see him all the time. I know it's the same snake. But it's usually like black snakes and garter snakes, stuff that's not dangerous. And they're not like everywhere. It's not like Australia here. Someone asked if they should build a greenhouse due to climate change. Absolutely. I think that is something that everyone should focus on. The YouTube channel Adapt 2030 really talks about that a lot. He has some great ideas on that, about pushing people to do greenhouses. That's something that we're going to put a heavier focus this year on in our building and stuff is greenhouses. So
it says Missouri has 8 poisonous varieties, but that's not everywhere in Missouri.
Right, and you're not going to run. I mean,
and it says more than any
I
other
have
place.
I have lived out in the country my whole life pretty much, and I have spent most of my youth and 20s and even into my 30s just spending days and even weeks camping out in the woods. And you don't run into them that often. You need to, when you're walking around in the woods, you need to be aware of the ground, any movements on the ground. I usually take a walking stick, and as I'm walking, I'm kind of pouncing it on the ground in front of me to kind of get them out of the way. As far as around your house, just make sure you're not putting a lot of stuff close to your house that would entice snakes to come live. Like wood piles. Our wood pile, our big wood pile, is not right next to our house. There's probably snakes living in it. There was last year, but it's away from the house. Keep things mowed and trimmed around the house, where your kids are going to be at or whatever, and you'll be fine. Plus we have cats. Cats keep them away. We have turkeys and ducks and chickens that run around, and dogs, and they like to eat, and go after snakes. So snakes isn't really something I worry too much about.
Sorry for your
someone. Yes, Bama J. Yeah, that it does happen. So you can die from a copperhead. It's usually not the case, and she's right. She said it was a baby, and the baby just dumped in all their venom, and that is the difference. The vast majority of adult copperhead bites are actually dry. They don't give you any venom in the bite. But with babies, they can't control it, and so it's more deadly to get bit by a baby than an adult snake. I've known numerous people that's gotten bit by adult copperheads, and only a few of them. Someone in Alberta.
Get more chickens, and you'll have fewer snakes.
That's right. Get more chickens, and you have fewer snakes. That's correct. Let's see. Someone says they have brown recluse spiders. Also, yes, we have brown recluse, and we have black widow spiders.
But I came from that, so it didn't freak me
out.
Yeah,
we
don't have scorpions.
We also have big tarantulas, but they're not venomous in that way.
They're the brown tarantulas,
and right? And so it's you clean stuff out. You don't let them. You learn what environments they like to live in. Like the other day, I had some boots that were out in the barn that I hadn't worn in a while. So my son went and got them for me, and you know what I did? I went out on the porch, and I shook them and smacked them on the porch upside down to make sure there was nothing inside of them. And so that's what you have to do.
Somebody wants to know, how do you keep your cats out of your... And then it dropped off, but I'm going to guess they're saying garden, and it just made me think of our girl cat that...
Yeah. I love that cat, but man, and she gets on my nerves. Yeah, for whatever, she attached herself to me, but she does go out there, and you can put a fence around it. Just keep them out. I don't know. It's just sometimes it's a fight with cats.
Because they go where they want to go.
Yeah, they go where they want to go. What breed of dogs do we have? We have Pyrenees, and then we have a Heinz 57 mutt.
He's kind of a big, chubby beagle looking.
Yeah, he's like a beagle lab, and who knows what else. He's actually our oldest son's dog, and they can't have a dog where they're at, so he lives with us.
It says Missouri does have scorpions. What I meant was, we don't here.
Yeah, we don't really have any around here.
I came from
but
DFW,
further south,
Dallas, Fort Worth area has them everywhere. Like they just
further south here in Missouri they have, but we don't. I've never found one around here.
And my grandma lived in Oklahoma, and again on all parts of northern Texas, and man, they're everywhere.
I'm not saying that they absolutely don't live around here, but I've never found any on our property. Let's see what else. Someone says, garden snakes near house and garden, and woodpile, but no mice when they're. That's the thing. I'm so okay with having a few snakes around the house.
We actually keep the black snakes.
Yeah, black snakes and king snakes. Like I don't even any snake. I don't kill a snake unless it's venomous and it's getting too close to the house, or it's just getting to the point that I cannot keep it out of the chicken coop. Like if it keeps messing around. But for the most part, Shoshana says we need another Pyrenees. Yeah. For the most part, I like having snakes around the house because I would much rather have snakes in the grass around the house or in the woodpile than mice in my house. And for those of you that have not lived out in the country, having mice in your house is different than in the city. In the city, it's typically associated with an old house or dirty house or a house that's not well built. Out in the country, they're everywhere. And I don't care if you live in $1 million home, you could have mice in your house. And so doing
or
things
voles or moles,
all that kind of stuff. So I would rather have a few snakes in the yard, and the kids, they're pretty good at identifying them.
So we have these too.
Don't worry about
Maybe
it.
not grizzlies, but I was looking at this and people seem to be more worried about the snakes.
Right.
But we do have bobcats.
Yeah, we have
and
bobcats and mountain lions and bears,
and
and they've all been on the property. So, we have those around. We've had bobcats right at the back door. We've had mountain lions within 50 yards from the house.
The recluse bite. I'm not going to give medical advice, but I would encourage you to look up black salve and manuka honey. Look at those things. And also a drawing salve. You can look that up too on your own.
Lots of turtles. Yeah, we have turtles everywhere. And because we have this creek on the property,
we have snapping turtles.
We get some snapping turtles. We have, all kinds of fish in that area. We have these big, huge freshwater clams that are down in there. And then we have like a resident blue heron that's down there. And almost
so
every time he's down there, he or she, I don't know.
It comes
all the time.
Yeah. It's been 3 years now.
3 years. It's always in the same spot, hanging around the same area. They're just there all the time.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. Shoshana says that they have had bats in their homes. Yes, that's happened.
We encourage our bats.
We have forest bats.
Yeah.
There are different types of bats, and thankfully the type of bats that we have here on the property are not the brownish red tree bats, and they don't really like living in a house or rafters or barn. They don't do that. They actually live in the trees, and we have those all. We'll set out at night, and they're like the sky is full of them.
But they keep the mosquitoes down, and it was kind of cool that you got to rescue.
Yeah, one of them fell down, I guess, and so I climbed up and put it back up in a tree. But yes, check in your boots. That's right. That's something you should always. These are things that those of you that have grown up in the country life, out in the woods, understand. And maybe some of you that's done it for a while, but a lot of people, they don't think about this. If your boots, you should check your boots and shoes, especially if they're outside or anything, before you ever put them on. There could be a snake in them, could be spiders in them, anything. So always shake your boots out. And like we were saying, that having mice or bugs or spiders or tarantulas or scorpions or anything like that in your house, out in the country, does not mean that you have an old, broken down, poorly built house or dirty home, or it just means that you're in the middle of their environment, and they're think about living in the city, how much pesticides and stuff are sprayed that keeps the population down. Well, you're out here and there's nothing like that, so their populations are everywhere, and so you have to take your own measures to kind of keep them out.
So somebody said plantain, and I didn't say that, and that's why I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I was like, oh, I forgot to say that.
Yeah, plantain is great.
And you can find that in a lot of regions, just in your yard.
Yeah, and someone said huge Missouri deer here too. That's true. In fact, on our little walk today,
Oh yeah.
One of my, which I knew about this, but we went out and checked it. One of my tree stands, the tree got knocked over. And I mean, it's still up on the stand, but the top of the tree, and it's weakened it. So I'm going to have to find a different spot to put my tree stand.
But we don't have just deer, though. We have those elk, right?
There are, not right here, but there are elk in Missouri.
Close by.
Yeah,
I mean,
there are
not
elk
too
in
far.
Missouri.
Yeah.
Let's see. Probably going to wrap this up. It's over an hour that we've been on here. I didn't realize that. Someone's in Howell County. Yep, that's not too far from us. You're just kind of southeast of us. Someone ended up, 31-year-old son ended up 3 days in the hospital last week in central Missouri, brown recluse bite, really bad. Yeah, you have to watch it. Those things, usually people come out okay, but it can damage the tissue around
they're
them.
necrotic. It's different than the black widows.
Yeah, it can really cause some tissue damage and stuff. And I had a friend several years ago. It's maybe been longer than I thought. But he got one, and I mean, he ended up long term being okay, but it took a while. Like, it really did some damage. It was in his leg. It really did some damage.
I have a friend that her daughter got a brown recluse bite, and she treated it with charcoal and then manuka, and then took her to the doctor just to make sure. And the doctor was fine as long as it wasn't infected. And it turned out that she was able to treat it all that way, but he was ready to give her antibiotics if she needed it.
Cliff Clavin, yes, to answer your question, yes. Shake my boots before putting them on. I live in the suburbs. Put my foot in the tennis shoe and scream bloody murder, huge spider. Yeah, it can happen in the city too. But I'm just saying that you should all just get in the habit of that, especially work boots, especially things that, like, if you're not wearing them on a daily basis, it has a higher chance of something nesting in your boots. If it's boots that you're only putting on a couple of days a week to go out and do stuff, muck boots. Of course, most people on farms wear them every day, but you know what I'm talking about. Shake the boots out, because you never know what's in there.
There's an old saying, there's a snake in my boot. Be careful.
There's a snake in my boot. Activated charcoal. Yes, and that's part of the black salve. It has activated charcoal in it. Yep. Activated charcoal, every home, every homestead should have activated charcoal.
And good quality manuka honey.
Good quality and good in manuka honey. And as far as the activated charcoal, you should have it's just easier, okay, to have both just the powder and the caplets, because the capsules, you can take it internally for things, and then you need to have just the loose powder so that you can make poultices and stuff and apply directly to injuries. But activated charcoal, like, your home should not exist if you don't have it, is my opinion. It's like probably one of the most important things. It has so many uses, and it's such an amazing product to have, and it's just simple. It's activated charcoal.
We use it for a lot of things.
Oh, we use it all the time. If the kids have an upset stomach, and maybe they've had a little diarrhea, here, go take a couple of activated charcoal. Toothpaste, bee stings, all kinds of stuff.
Somebody asked where I lived in Texas, like where I'm from, and I think that's kind of a funny story because it's everywhere but west and super north, like not Amarillo. So like DFW, Austin, and Houston down to Corpus. Like, it's all from the middle all the way over to the right. I have family
from, like,
there.
Central Texas
all
east.
over for almost 4 decades. I lived
about
there.
in 4 decades.
I'm an old lady
Sherry
now.
Papin is on here.
Hi, Miss Sherry.
We love you and your husband.
Where is she?
You're right there. Shalom.
Oh, hey.
You tell that old man hi for me.
Where do you get good charcoal?
Activated charcoal?
Yeah. You can source it.
Yeah, you can source it. You can get it anywhere.
We found like coconut and bamboo, I think.
You do want to look around, because there's
sure
there's
that's
difference.
a great recommendation, but you can.
Yeah, I hate using Amazon, but certainly Amazon has it. But you can find other places that has good quality activated charcoal. And I try to buy it in like at least a 1 or 2 pound bag, and we keep it, because now it's messy if it gets loose, all that kind of stuff, but it's really necessary for a homestead. Stay strapped. Absolutely. Not strapped, but I'm ready. All right, let's go ahead and start wrapping this up because it's just that time. It's been over an hour. Someone, hello from Butler County. She said, we love you guys too. I told him you're on here. Yeah.
That's Bruce Frazier. He's
yeah,
another
he's
friend.
in here. Bruce Frazier.
These are like real life friends.
Yeah, these are some of our. Oh, there's another one right there. Serenity Asylum Acres. That's one of
That's
our other.
another really close
our
friend.
really close friend. We love her
Hi,
too.
these are our people.
Yes, they're jumping in. These are people from our real world physical community that are jumping in.
And then our dog, the lady that made the dog comment earlier.
Yes.
Our Shoshana.
Yes, that's
Scott
County here. What makes it activated? Oh man, you had to ask that. Someone can probably jump in. I can't remember. I've read it before. What makes it activated? It basically means it's like a pure charcoal. So it's not like taking charcoal that you would start a fire with, but it's a more pure version. I can't remember. Someone has 10 acres in Webster County. All this talk about spiders is freaking me out. It's really not that bad. Just some common sense methods. We hardly have, too many spiders. Gary said he's sorry he missed you guys too. We will watch the replay for sure. Awesome, Sherry. We need to get together soon.
Is it Prepared or The Prepared? Sorry.
It's Prepared Homestead.
Okay, go ahead.
We've been talking about you two a lot. We miss you. We need to get back down to see you.
Prepared.
She's trying to type here. At Proton. She's typing my email address again. So if anyone needs to
Somebody
email
asked
me.
for it.
Yes, if you need to email me for something, feel free to go ahead. Please understand, I get 200 or 300 emails a day, and so it's impossible to get.
And it's at the bottom of your description. Tell your
yeah,
viewers
it's always in every video at the bottom of the description is the email. But it's we do get to them. It just takes a while sometimes.
I'm
Man,
sorry,
we
guys.
keep hitting this mic tonight. I'm sure these poor people listening, their eardrums are blowing up.
I'm sorry. And then I sound like a little piggy. And now I'm turning red.
Kathy, you're here late. I'm so sorry you got on just now. We're getting ready to get off of here. That's what I always hate about getting off of these live streams is when people just now get on here and we're getting off. But you can always go back and watch the replay for the live stream.
Somebody's explaining what makes it active.
Is heated to a very high temperature, which refines it and makes it more porous. That's correct.
Thank you,
yes,
Melissa.
I knew I had read that somewhere, but I couldn't remember exactly. I knew I had read what makes it. So activating, you can get it in different consistencies or whatever the term is. And we always get the fine powder. Who is Dr.
So y'all are
Christopher?
asking the good questions. This is the kind of rumble stuff I like to talk about.
Yeah.
Dr. Christopher is my favorite herbalist.
Yeah.
Next to my husband.
He's an amazing.
If you know who
herbalist,
Robert
natural,
Tisserand is in the oil worlds, he's the answer to that. In fact, he has a lot of. He's the only one that talks about juniper berries for diabetes type 1. We won't go into any of this stuff, but because it's YouTube, and you have to be careful. But
no kidding.
I keep hitting this. I'm sorry, but he's my favorite herbalist. You have a few, but
Yep. I have some books on the shelf behind us of different herbalists that I like. All right, we are going to get off here, folks. Thank you.
Oh.
Yes, someone said that they tried My Patriot Supply and said it was pretty good. It is. I think it's better than, like, Mountain House is kind of salty. I think My Patriot Supply is pretty good food. I mean, it's not perfect, but my goodness, it lasts 25, 30 years.
Right, and you're going to want something. I mean, even if you don't get everything that way, it's just nice to have a set-aside treat.
Right, as something that's quick.
Yeah.
And the reason why I've stuck with My Patriot Supply, I know you guys get tired of hearing me talk about it, but is because when you look at all the major companies out there and then you figure out what you're paying per calorie, because if you buy whether it's a 3-month supply, a 90-day or 6-month or 1 month or 2 week, if you break it down of how many total calories you're getting and then what you're paying for that, My Patriot Supply, you're getting more calories for the dollar. You just get more calories. They are figuring 2,000 calories a day, which almost all of these other emergency food supplies do between 1,300, 1,500, 1,700 calories a day. And so that's why I like My Patriot Supply.
Humble Potato, I like your name.
Humble Potato.
I feel like a potato today. I say that sometimes. I like all their stuff. If you've ordered this shirt, then you know.
Yeah, and we have
it.
no business affiliation with
no.
this, but they are really good people. We know
and then
them.
Sherry, what
and
she
then
said.
Sherry,
that's such a cool thing that her the equine specialist told her to give them to her.
Yep.
The juniper berries.
Juniper berries is good for kidneys and pancreas and stuff. Yep. All right, folks. I think we're going to get off here.
So your message resonates with my life. I appreciate you.
Well,
That's a wonderful thing to say.
Thank you. Folks,
we appreciate you guys.
We appreciate you so much. If you only knew your support, your emotional support, your prayers, most importantly, we appreciate them so much.
Tell everybody to hit the like button.
Hit the like button if you can before you get out of here.
That's not why we like you. Just
no. Yes, Rivkah. It's a Hebrew version of Rebecca. This is her name. It's the Hebrew.
It means joined or tied.
Yeah.
So it means tied or bound.
Mm-hmm. So, anyways,
somebody said earlier that that's their Hebrew name and they don't know what it means, and so I was saying that.
Yeah. So for those of you that we know in person, we love you and we thank you. But the rest of you, subscribers, you do mean a lot to us, and we love and thank you also because of just your support. We have the best listeners on YouTube, viewers, subscribers, whatever.
We do, and we appreciate your loyalty and your help, and holding us accountable. Yep. We like that too.
Yep. All right, folks. Thank you
all.
all.
It's good to visit with you all. Thank you for all the
watching.
Questions.
Yep. And we will catch you probably next week. We're going to try to start doing these at least once a week.
Are we?
I think so.
Can we figure out eventually how to do lives on Rumble though too? So
I'll try to simulcast on Rumble.
Maybe
too.
Every other week.
I know there's a way to do it. I just haven't tried.
We should call those like Rogue or Wild.
Ooh, yeah. We could do some Rumble stuff where we could just say whatever we want.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Unedited.
We could take calls. I'm just kidding. I'm getting a little carried away.
Stop.
I'm going to make your life a lot more complicated.
All right, guys and gals. Thanks for watching.